It is now my honor to call on the Grand Worthy Advisor of Rainbow Girls, International Order of Rainbow Girls, Ms. Alana Clement.
Start off by introducing the grand officers that have joined us today. So girls, will you please stand? I'd like to introduce Carly Kimes, Charity and Representative to Washington, Idaho, Lucy Coppers, Faye and Representative to Australia and the Orient Pacific, and Angelina Harris, Member of the Grand Executive Committee, Rainbow Flag Bearer, and Representative to Canada, New Hampshire, and Vermont. Thank you. Southern California Jurisdiction Master Counselor, Executive Officer, distinguished and honored guests. Hello, and thank you for inviting me to speak to you today on behalf of California Rainbow. I'd like to extend my congratulations to this year's officers and the newly elected officers who I know will have an amazing term. Every 4 years, the whole world seems to come together and gather around their TVs while we watch the world's best athletes compete for the coveted gold medal. Some even get to come home and find their face on a box of Wheaties. No matter what, during these few short weeks, the whole world seems to forget about any disputes or tensions that they may have and just focus on watching the games. Throughout the years, we've seen our fair share of heartbreaking losses, but we've also seen some amazing recoveries. I'd like to share with you all today one of the best Olympic stories that I know of. Picture this. It's the 1988 Winter Olympics in Calgary. Dan Jansen was getting ready for his 500-meter speed skating competition, where he was one of the projected winners of the heat. But just 3 hours earlier, he was informed that his sister Jane had passed away. He knew what he had to do. He was going to win the gold medal for Jane. When the 500-meter race came up, it was going great until he fell onto the ice. Upset, he knew that he still had one more chance in the 1,000-meter race. Things were looking up until he yet again fell onto the ice. 4 years later, in the 1992 Olympics, Jansen had made the U.S. Olympic team yet again. And yet again, he didn't win, this time finding himself in 4th and 26th place. So when the time came for the 1994 Lillehammer Olympics, the last that Jansen would be attending, his last chance to win the gold medal for Jane. He was being cheered on by his wife and their 9-month-old daughter named after Jane. Even with the support within the 500-meter race, he didn't win, finding himself in 8th place. So when the time finally came for the 1,000-meter race, which was his last chance, he thought to himself, "This is it. I'm not going to win." But the race proceeded, and so did Jansen, who found himself winning 1st place, all while setting a new world record, meaning he finally got to take home the gold medal for his sister. Sometimes it feels as if there are some goals in our life that we'll just never be able to accomplish, and they're just out of our reach. For me, that was coming here today and speaking in front of all of you. But here I am. Every now and then, we feel as if we just can't do it, but it's really that support system that we have. And no matter how hard Jansen wanted to give up, his family was always there to support him. And just like Jansen's family, our Masonic family will always be there to support you. In those times where you may fall down, but also in those moments when you get to take home your very own gold medal. And who knows, maybe in a few years we'll all find ourselves gathered again, eating a box of Wheaties with our picture on it. Thank you.